I'm going to play a very short tune for Linda, who just lost her mom.
Oh my gosh. That's so beautiful. So beautiful.
So that's my electronic 5-string violin, and this piece is by Edward Elgar, classical romantic. It's called "Lover's Greeting."
Oh my goodness! I want to play that at when we have her memorial for real. So,
okay. Yeah. Well,
guys, I buried my mom on Wednesday. She died of COVID-19, and it's been really tough that you can't get together, and it's such a, oh my gosh. I mean, it's hard at any time to lose a parent.
Right.
But to lose a parent now, and not be able to go through the rituals, but it's just been almost like overwhelming. And I don't want to get too into it, but she's ground zero. She was in a nursing home in Flushing, existing conditions, and honest to God, we thought she was going to pull through it. And I'm reading all this stuff now about nursing homes and things coming up.
Yeah.
And, I honestly, my experience with them is those were people who really cared. And they were forced by Cuomo to accept patients for rehabilitation and whatnot in their nursing homes who had the symptoms. So, because I talked to, administrators there and so on, but it's just like, and I'm dealing with it for my mom, but at the same time, it's stuff that's happening in the news. And I, think he, especially, right now, he's investigating the nursing homes for doing a terrible, terrible job. And I'm not saying, they're not all at the same level, but they themselves are coming down with the COVID. It's that kind of condition, like send volunteers to help them out. The guys in my mom's nursing home were doing like 16-hour shifts because they were themselves falling ill. But there's a long story. And then she got sent to the hospital, which probably, because, it gets complicated because she had a stroke and But, it really forced me to deal with a lot of these issues that are happening in the news now. And then to go through the entire death process and seeing it from the funeral home end of things. And they're doing, 4 to 6 per person, funerals a day because of, the volume of it. And how, the funeral director said, I was here during H1N1 for Mayor SARS. And the last time, for H1N1, before it even really hit the news, all the funeral homes in like Elmhurst, Corona, Flushing, because they predicted that's where it was really going to hit, got a call from the state saying we've designated this parking lot that's close to public transportation. We're going to have refrigerated trucks there. It'll be a morgue for, people who have the disease, who, succumb to this. And it was very organized. So they knew how to handle it. They were prepared for, extra volume because they can only handle so much. And this time around, they got nothing. They got nothing. So everybody's like, people are, trying to buy these refrigerated trucks to handle the extra volume of, of bodies, like on eBay and shit. It's like,
gosh.
God.
Yeah, we heard horrible stories. These, trucks overloaded and stocked in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I don't doubt that's true, but my personal experience, and I'm telling you, my mom was right at the center of it.
Mhm.
The hospital, professionals who dealt with her, she went into the hospital before COVID broke.
oh,
So it was before when, we were all at the Chinese New Year parade. I mean, oh
yeah.
my God, I'm thinking
Yeah.
back to what we were doing and shit.
That's terrible.
uh,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't think I have a direct friends who lost loved ones. I know you and your family. So I know there's like 5-6 people is infected. So could we talk let's talk about everybody into this is how usually this weekly Yangan gathering sort of a honestly it's not like a procedure. It's not really procedure. I like us to introduce ourselves first. Can we start with Lilian first? Like Lilian, because she's next to me, and then afterwards. So let's just talk about a little bit short version of how you became Yangan, how you met us, or me, or people in here, and just kind of refresh our memory how we met. Lilian,
Okay.
please.
Thanks, Ching. I'm right in front of me, really, with all 5 of us. It's sort of like a whole retrospective of my Yang Gang experience. So this I have, because Linda was one of the first people I met way back in June. And she came to my phone banking party, which was really like maybe the second political activity, second or third thing that I'd ever hosted in my house. And it was great. She was an amazing phone banker. And I remember you were sort of, well, I don't know if I can host my own. I don't know if I'm ready. But then, it just takes a little bit of, I guess, experience. And then everyone sort of took off after that. Linda definitely took off, and I'm introducing you now, but I should introduce myself, right? So, and then I met Ching at a fundraiser, which was also maybe around the same time, right, Ching, in June of last year?
Oh, yeah, the Chinese fundraiser.
The first this fundraiser, which was like, oh my gosh! When I look back on it, it was such a humble beginning, because you could hear the cooks screaming at each other in the kitchen. It was like there was some Mandarin, there was some English, and everyone was just sort of like, oh yeah, we're kind of helping this guy that nobody knows.
Yeah.
But we think he's kind of cool, and he had just flown back from, I think, the first debate. And so that's when I met Ching. And then
can I interrupt? I'm like really date driven. I met you first time is June 29th.
Is that when that fundraiser was?
In Flushing, isn't it?
Yeah, so maybe it was the second debate. Anyway,
yeah.
So the rest
I met you at one of the debate rehearsals, I think, for the second one.
That's true. I met, we also met there. Yeah.
I didn't know anybody, and you were nice enough to actually speak to me, and I'm there sitting there by myself, and you honestly, Lilian, you really pulled me into the whole Yang Gang thing, because I was not politically active, but I like Yang, and I wanted to get involved. And at that point, you could sign up on, the website at that point, and it wasn't going anywhere. And then I met you. And I was like, yeah, next time you're doing something, here's my card. And then you emailed me, and then that's how I got started. And then you gave me the confidence, or basically just pushed me into hosting things. Because like the second time, I think, we had, you did that street fair in Harlem. It's on your block, right? Yeah. And, there was all these T-shirts and stickers and things, and you had a bunch, and then you just like divide them and said, here, and you just gave them to me. So
go.
That was my Yang Gang starter kit. Some bumper stickers.
Yeah, those were like the infancy. Those were such the early days, and I had very little political experience, but compared to everyone else in the Yang Gang, I was experienced.
Yeah,
And then,
you are.
oh my gosh, a lot happened. And I eventually met Brian during the whole ballot access. I mean, I know that we had probably been on Zoom meetings before that, but Brian was like my right hand during the ballot access period.
We worked very closely together.
It all grew from there. And then I met Kevin during the, hi Nick. I met Kevin during the delegate recruitment phase and signature gathering in District 14, right? 15, sorry. I always see, I get those two confused. They're both Bronx. But yeah, and then, so that's my Yang Gang. This is my Yang Gang history right here. So
Yeah, no, you're amazing. You're one of my teachers. You know how to harass people on the phone, you know. No, just kidding. We're like I had a party of how to phone banking, and then you came to, you know, rescue us and teach us and stuff. So it's amazing. And so Linda, your turn. Short version.
Okay. Sorry, I was jumping in. Short version. Yeah. So Lilian got me started, and I, along with a couple of others, kind of, you know, were the first ones in Brooklyn Yang Gang. So we started doing events here, and then, you know, now we're like one big happy group. So, yep. And Ching, I met you because we were preparing for a fundraiser in Brooklyn Heights, downtown Brooklyn, like an art auction for Andrew Yang, and you were hosting something with Nick.
Yeah, we were doing a Act Blue training session.
That's right, and I came to your apartment for that.
Yeah. And you crashed our party.
It was great. It was like right before Christmas time. Yeah, and then we crashed your co-op's Christmas party.
Yeah, we had a lot of food to eat.
But we were there, you know, that's how, you know, I met you guys, and we had a good time.
Yeah, that's amazing. And also, Linda, don't forget, actually, I met you first time is UBI March. And you actually got stuff from my car, remember?
That's right. I picked up a box, a big box of.
Yeah. I was like, who is this bossy person?
Oh no, sorry.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. No, I was just happy to see fellow Yangan, you know, and lady Yangan, you know, because I tell the truth, through, I'm not supposed to talk right now, but I'm talking anyway. Through the experience of with Yangan, I think there is more male Yangan than female Yangan. So when I see female Yangan, I'm very happy. Not that I don't want to see male Yangan. It's just like the balance, you know, when you go to like Iowa or New Hampshire, man, a lot of men, you know, lots of gentlemen, you know. Anyway, okay, thank you so much. So Brian, tell us a little bit about it. Brian saved my butt, and just like Nick always does. Some people supposed to come and then didn't come, you know. So, and Brian stepped in the last minute. So tell us a little bit about you. And I tried to Google you. I couldn't.
Sure. Well, my name is Brian, and I'm out of Rochester, New York, and I've been organizing with the Yang Gang since probably September. I got involved in July. It was the first time I ever donated for a candidate, and then I got on his mailing list and started reading more about him, and started phone banking, and eventually started organizing events in September. There was already a Rochester Yang Gang Facebook group, but I started getting more and more involved, hosting a lot of events out here. Eventually met Lilian, and we were working closely together, recruiting delegates and helping people collect signatures and collecting signatures, which leads me into one thing I want to mention really quickly, is we worked really hard to get Andrew Yang and delegates in every district on the ballot. And unfortunately, the Board of Elections decided they wanted to cancel the election, which we had a delegate by the name of Jeff Curzon. He he started a suit pretty much the day that we learned the news, filed the suit. We won last week. However, the Attorney General is now appealing the case. So what I would ask everybody to do is just take a moment and tweet at the Attorney General, and the Twitter handle is at New York State AG.
Hold on. I'll write it down for you so I can post it. I can post right here. Okay, so
I can put it in chat too.
Yeah, why don't you give it to me now, please?
You can write it on a piece of paper.
Yeah, no, you just write it in the chat, and then I can click, and then it's going to be underneath us, so people can see.
And we've got a hashtag too. It's NY Votes Matter.
Okay.
And there's also, if you want to do a little bit more, there's a contact form on the Attorney General website, and it would be great if you went there and filed a complaint just with your thoughts on why the election should happen. And in my view, their argument is that it's because of COVID-19, but really the thing is we've already got the ability for all New Yorkers to vote via absentee ballot, so safety really isn't an issue. Their argument's kind of ridiculous, and regardless of whether people think that Sanders and Yang and whoever else is on the ballot are viable, we should still have our.
Sorry, dear, Brian. Can you write on the comment instead of a private chat? Because I cannot transfer private chat.
Do you want me to comment on YouTube?
Yeah, just comment. Yeah.
Watching. Old school.
Yeah, I can. Let's see, live. Okay, private chat, live comment. Okay, so those are the comments from YouTube.
Yeah,
cool.
the private chat is between us if we want to talk about something we don't want to be public. But you can just write on a comment, and then I can paste onto. Thank you, Linda. And then Yunje also wrote that. Thank you, Yunje. We have an audience. Yunje's in the audience. We have we have J. We have DJELF. Hi, DJELF. What is your name? Your name is One Love Brother. Anyway, he's always, I don't know is it he or she, but I assume he's a gentleman. He always follows us. He's so sweet.
Right on.
Okay, are you done? All right. So while how about, are you done talking, Ryan?
Yeah, I think
you can talk more later.
So,
yeah, this is an intro.
Yeah, thanks,
so
everyone.
Intro is supposed to be short. Okay, Kevin, your turn.
Wow.
So good to see you.
I'm even lost. I'm so sorry. I'm pretty lost. Where did I think out of all you guys, I think I met Ching first at where was this?
My house.
Not your house. It was we was at Columbus Circle.
Oh yeah.
You was interviewing.
Oh, Columbus Circle. Right. I saw Paige there. Hi, Paige. Paige is in the waiting room, okay? So we have to let her on at certain point. So one second. Hold on one second. I have everything. I wrote everything in here. Like when and where I did young thing. It's amazing.
Sure it was Columbus Circle.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I met.
Columbus Circle is October the 12th. I made a film too. Anyway, Paige, I'll be with you, okay, dear? Okay. Yeah. So so
long ago.
But I thought maybe my first actual volunteering event.
I remember you, Kevin.
You was filming.
I know you. You're so articulated. You were so philosophically making statements. It was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, and then I think I've seen Linda at the the UBI march.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was also in October.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought the other event was in like August for a second. No,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah.
was a big
I
Yang
was
month.
I
So
was
that was
stalking Yang.
Yangapalooza too.
Yeah, I
Big
was
Yang.
stalking Yang for like a little while.
Can I
Um,
put myself out and then have introduce Paige in? I don't know how to
Will
do
we
this.
still be able to hear you?
I don't know. I've never done it before.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
so let me try. Okay,
But you
I'm
could
just
put on the chat, and then we could see if we don't
no,
get.
no. We can only have 6 people on the screen. So Paige is here right now. So
right.
hold on a second. Let me. No, I cannot get rid of myself. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So all right. So maybe after, how's that? After Kevin finishes, after Nick tells us his story, and then somebody step out for a little while, let Paige on. Okay. All right. Is that okay? Yeah. It's great. So sorry, dear. Sorry, dear. Okay. So Kevin,
to get a
continue.
charger, so
Yeah.
that'll be fine.
Yeah. Continue. So then, Kevin, I see you everywhere. You know how I remember all the dates? Because
How?
I take pictures everywhere, take videos everywhere. So I don't delete things easily. So I went to see all our activities. So that's why I remember the dates. So I see Kevin in so many events. You came to my house for party,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we were UBI
Mm-hmm.
March.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, and you showed me the person in the store has a boombox outside
You know
playing.
what? You know what's crazy? Like, I called him a little earlier in the quarantine, and he got coronavirus because he wasn't taking it seriously. He was going to work, opening up his business, And I felt bad because it's a small business. His competition is like Amazon, and I understood why he went to work every day. But yeah, he ended up getting sick. I think he's gotten better. I talked to him a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
But
Wow. When Kevin said this is the store owner in Bronx. He fixes a cell phone, and he's a Yangan. He put Andrew Yan's speech in a big speaker and put outside of
I remember that.
outside of his store.
That.
Yeah, about UBI. So anyway, thank you, Kevin. Yeah. So shall we introduce Nick, my friend? Nick.
Yes. Oh, it's good to see everyone. I have met everyone here besides Brian. So it's good to meet you, Brian.
You too, Nick.
Yes. Well, I met Ching. It's almost going to be a year ago. Hard to believe that. At the rally in Washington Square Park. And from there, there was the UBI March, in October, the fundraiser in November. And what a ride it's been. So, I'm just happy to be here for another Gang Hang and reconnect with everyone, and excited for phase 2, which is underway right now, and what's going on. And I'm glad that we're all staying together and we have technology to help us do that at a time like this. And everything that we have heard and what we've been talking about and standing for is really at the forefront of the national stage in an unprecedented way, in a way that I don't think we could have ever expected. But here we are, and happy to be here. And I'm glad that you're able to vote. This is my shirt right here.
And I want. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, so I consider myself an honorary New York City gang. I mean, from Connecticut.
No.
So happy.
We're all New Yorkers here. What are you doing here? No,
among friends and extended family here. So
yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah, I have to say, Nick has been my huge supporter. Not only we met in May, it's going to be almost a year. We were partners. We went to Iowa for 2 weeks, and we went to New Hampshire also. And we did so many things together, and from fundraising to canvassing to teach me how to use, Actor Blue, and so it's just amazing. And he's always backbone of this series of Young and Han. because sometimes people don't show up or cannot come the last minute, and he's always there for me. So I really thank you, Nick. You're my best friend. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you,
yeah.
Ching.
So could we invite Paige, please?
Yes.
So I'm gonna take Nick down. Okay.
Okay. I don't think it's
I don't know how to do that though.
Uh,
I don't really know
Partner.
how. No, Nick. I think Nick, you have to do yourself. I think. I don't know how to do that.
I can. Let me
I need to
do.
leave the studio. Is that what I have to do?
I don't know, dear. I've never done it before. Sorry. Yeah. So, is there a place called Leave Studio? Yeah.
Yeah, it says Leave Studio.
Try.
Let me go get a charger. I'll be right back.
I'll
Oh,
leave studio.
Can you click
Thank
Leave?
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he get okay. When he comes back, we can always invite him back.
Hey,
Hi,
hey.
Paige.
Yeah.
How are you? How are you? So, Paige, now it's your turn. We have been just introducing ourselves. Talk about like a little bit about how we became young again and how we get to know each other. So, in a short version, I can't hear you.
Hi, can you hear me now? Sorry, muted myself.
Yeah.
I got involved in the Yang Gang last year, I think in July. I think my first event was with Linda. We had a happy hour up in Greenpoint, and
Yeah.
I mean that meeting was like so energizing. It was like
Yeah.
the people there were so amazing, and I was just like, I got to do this. I'd never volunteered for a campaign before. I'd never, really been involved in politics before. I just graduated from college, so I was a little busy before this. But yeah, I really love Andrew Yang and his platform, and then I also really love all the people in the movement, and that's kind of what brought me in, like 100%, maybe 200%, maybe too much involved. But like everybody, I can't say no to things. So that's where I am now.
Yang Gang.
Involved.
Yeah, I think I met Paige. Did you go to the Chinatown canvassing?
I don't think I ever did the Chinatown canvassing, but I
Okay.
went to some events in Manhattan,
Okay.
and I don't remember.
Yeah, I met you in more than one occasion at least.
Yes.
Yeah. So great. All right. So let me talk about myself just very quickly. First of all, this is the 7th Yang and Hen open what do you call open chat, yeah, broadcast to YouTube. So you can check out all the other ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I try to form us. The whole reason, the very beginning, why I do that was because from June last year to February this year, I keep myself busy, right? I've been going to so many events, probably 50, 60 events, and go to Iowa for 2 weeks and New Hampshire 3 weeks. So all of a sudden, NGN dropped out, and then we were in this lockdown. I was like devastated. I was like, I don't have, I have to do something. I want to see you guys, and so part of the reason is, so I get to this time to catch up with you and to talk to you about how your life are. And so from the 10-month period with all the event I went, I made 110 short films, engineering related stuff. Every time I go out, I always shoot, and then I make something, anywhere from 5 minutes to 40 minutes. So I have a lot of footage about that. So now this at the very beginning, how I got into is because a college friend of mine told me about Andrew Yang, and then I just went without knowing who Andrew Yang was, and then I saw Andrew Yang for the first time in May 14 last year, and I still did not really, I have to tell you the truth, I did not really get it, right? Even the first time when I see him, because I did not do enough research. But one thing I know is I saw people there. I met Nick. I met Steve Martian. I met some other people. people gave me so much reassurance almost. Like I see so many people. Why are there so many people for him? He must be good. So anyway, so that is yeah, so from there slowly I got involved with phone banking and met Lilian, met Linda. Hi, how are you? There's a teenager in the back.
Sorry,
No.
she's actually a tween.
Oh, twin. Hi,
My
twin.
daughter, yeah.
So yeah, so I continue feel that it is not only Andrew Yan's policy is very impressive, his book sort of sold me, and it is you people, Yangan, being with you gave me so much energy. And I'm just very touched for your selflessness and just seeing people out there canvassing in the snow, in the rain. It's just really amazing. So I want to keep us going on and keep learning from you guys. And yeah, so that's my story.
So can I say a couple things? If I don't have, I'll stop if there's too much background noise. But there's two things I'm very proud of lately. One of the things is what Brian brought up about what Jeff Curzon and Andrew Yang and a group of other people are doing, which was basically fighting for our right to have this election. Regardless of what the outcome is, because I do think democracy is not about the outcome. It's very much about the action of voting and expressing your right to have a choice and have your voice be heard. Secondly, there's another delegate candidate. I think a lot of us, not all of us, but I know Paige, myself, Linda, and Brian are delegate candidates in New York. So there's another one in District 17 named John Body, and he has had incredible success with raising money for his COVID relief effort, which is farms to food banks. Mm-hmm. It's literally about 2, maybe 3 weeks old, and he has accomplished what nonprofits try to accomplish for years. He's done incredible fundraising. He's logistically, they're just a group of 8 friends, and they're donating their time. They all have other full-time jobs, but they, and I have to give credit to ourselves and the Yang Gang for getting his word out there, because he has raised so much money and he has brought literally truckloads of food that would have been wasted into New York City to help give out at a food bank in the Bronx. And he's only growing. And it kind of reminds me almost of the early days of the campaign, is that, he's just kind of winging it. He didn't have a plan. He just knew that there was this food rotting, and he had a friend here, he had a friend there. He put them all together, and he's doing something amazing that, filling in a gap that the government unfortunately is not doing right now. So I feel like this is like the next generation of Yang Gang. And as much as,
Lilian, even it's too noisy.
It's what?
It's a little too noisy in your kitchen. Sorry.
All right. So, and that's the third generation of Yang Gang. So I just feel like people are really carrying on the spirit, and it just shows to me that it wasn't just about running for president, which is why we really liked him in the first place. So because he's carrying on, all of us who were inspired by him are carrying on in our own way, and also trying to support him. So that's one thing that I'm very happy about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Can I jump in?
Please.
Well, I wanted to, because this is something I've been thinking about recently, how to, what is the role of the Yang Gang? How can we fit in? to what's going on, because the world is literally changing around us. And thank God for Andrew Yang for bringing UBI to the national consciousness to the point where it is a legit point of discussion, and people are more ready to listen to that message than ever. And we here in New York, we've got this, this board of election, ball that's being kicked around. Are we going to have the primary? Are we not going to have the primary? And, and we had been geared up for the month of April to be out there campaigning, so we could be delegates and so on. And, it's more about just, our right to get 15% of the vote, because realistically, is that going to happen? But we can use this opportunity, assuming that, it's not appealed, or even if it is, to, get the word about UBI to make it an even bigger conversation. So this occurred to me because, I posted something in our Twitter chat, and somebody Eric Lynn, another fantastic Yang Gang, posted a picture of all the Yang Gang, the brochures left over from the campaign and stuff. And I have a bunch too. It's like, he's not running for president, but let's put some stickers on there. So Yang equals UBI, a write-in vote for Andrew Yang equals UBI. I'm going to, paste them on mailboxes, whatever. I mean, why not? I've got like 2 boxes of bumper stickers and stuff. Put a sticker right over it, leave them around, get people curious and talking. It's not about getting Yang elected president anymore. This is bigger than that. But he's got the best ideas. And every article where we're talking about, some sort of economic stimulus that goes to the people, mentioning him, like in the New York Times, in the Washington Post, the kind of coverage we never had while he was running. So I'm thinking, he's not running, but we can get a buzz going, not for Yang, for UBI. And I think, we could get a lot of people behind that. So my idea is, I've got a shit ton of brochures in all languages and business cards and all that, I still have. Maybe we just get some stickers together with that, NY votes hashtag or whatever, or, a write-in vote for anybody but Biden equals a vote for UBI. He's not going to be president, but maybe we could show this is how many people are for UBI and for this set of policies, I think they are, and, maybe this is the moment. I mean, we're not going to get a chance like this again, where people are ready to listen for, to be open to another way of being. And I'm thinking well, Yang Gang, isn't this what we were fighting for? What we hope, Andrew Yang would bring? But maybe, let's get people on board, start the conversation, get that wave going. I mean, this is an unprecedented situation. Our unemployment, it's like half the people in this country of the age who could be working are not working, not 15, whatever, 14.8% unemployment, like the people, the general population, including the people who aren't, who just stopped qualifying for unemployment, who dropped out of the market. It's like, what Andrew was talking about.
People are starting to get it. Just to jump in, I think you're absolutely right that regular folks are starting to get the concept. But not only just regular people, but politicians as well, because I had recently talked to a politician before the COVID-19 crisis really hit. And we talked about UBI, and he was kind of open to the idea, but wasn't really actively considering it. But now he's working on policy for UBI. Mm-hmm. So I think this whole crisis has changed how a lot of people feel about it.
Yeah. But what can we do about it? And it's like we've got these brochures. I think if I leave them around, I know it's quarantine time, right? But I got to go walk my dog once, twice a day, right? And it's not like people aren't going to the grocery store or whatever. I mean, I've got Suraj Patel has posters, just, New York 12 in my neighborhood. So we could, I don't know, get a Ziploc, tape it to the mailbox, right? I'm going to support the U.S. Postal Service and leave some brochures with stickers on there. I'm not selling Yang, but just have it be attention, or make new brochures. But like, I've got so much paper and the policies are already printed on there. Something to tie, like if there's a primary vote coming up, okay, that if you vote for someone besides Biden, it's a vote for UBI or for a set of policies. Do you think that's ridiculous, or is that something that can happen? Can we help push it? I mean, I want to do something.
I think it's a good use of the materials that we've got left over, and certainly I've got a good amount of those lawn signs left, and we never finished distributing those because Yang suspended his campaign. But we were talking about putting them out closer to the primary. And for those just tuning in right now, we sued the Board of Elections and won to have the primary reinstated. But now the Attorney General is appealing that decision. So we're really trying to raise awareness that unless they drop their appeal or we win that suit, there is going to be no primary, and there would be no chance to vote for delegates. So it's really critical to just raise awareness, and we're trying to trend a hashtag on Twitter, pound NY Votes Matter, and I'll put that into chat again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I'm just reading Nick Rivera's notes in the chat. The world is watching New York. Let's show everyone democracy is alive and well. Well said, Nick.
Yeah.
They are. I mean, let's do something, let's push it.
Yeah.
This could be just to demonstrate this is how many people support this. The politicians are more open than they'll ever be. Well, no, not that they're more open than they've ever been, but hopefully they will be more open once they see how much people want this.
Yeah. Kevin, you have any input?
Yeah, no, I was just letting Linda finish, but I totally agree with. I totally agree with Linda on the point that it's 2020. I think it's time that we take back our democracy, right? We're always supporting democracy elsewhere in the world, but I think when it comes to our democracy at home, we're taking it for granted. They're pushing Biden, like everybody's pushing Biden, but Biden hasn't really been supportive of much progressive ideas. Even now, he's not as vocal as much of the other politicians on cash relief. He says it, but I don't think he's too serious about it. Just understanding his background. So yeah, I totally agree with Linda that I think we should have a write-in campaign in New York.
Just to demonstrate. I think we could get the burners on board.
It's time that we actually vote for someone that has actual value. That we know they're gonna fight for that value. And Yang has been doing incredible job, more than incredible job. Like a lot of people could be sitting out right now because of COVID-19 and whatnot. But he's busy fighting not just for Asian American representation, but UBI, workers in general. Because UBI not only will help like unemployed workers, but people who are working right now, right? And they feel like they're not getting paid enough.
Yeah.
The UBI will give them that money, that extra money that they deserve. People deserve it.
Yeah.
If you're working like $1,000 extra, $2,000 extra is a lot of money, especially if you're working, you're having some sort of income. You feel a lot better about yourself and you enjoy your work more.
Definitely. And then this whole like pandemic thing, it's changed our lifestyle. We're all working from home now. And in my neighborhood, so you have like parents spending all day with their kids. And honestly, some of these kids are just thriving. They love having mommy and daddy around. Mommy and daddy love being around their kids or, or pets or whatever. And I mean, okay, COVID is bad, but and it's so tough on the local businesses. And I think, they would be totally for UBI as well. But I don't know, it's just like forcing us to rethink our supply chain. Like restaurants are gone. I'm buying farm boxes from a bookstore, from a farmer who used to supply to restaurants, and things like that. I think we're rethinking our supply chain. It's like, where do we get toilet paper from? Why is there no toilet paper? And Wendy's is now out. Some Wendy's are out of beef. It's like there are a lot of things this situation is forcing us to rethink. And what Andrew had said about, a more humanity forward, more humanity-based society where, being at home with your kids could be compensated for. Like, why are we giving up 3 hours of our day to commute to an office when, you can be working at home and be in your home? I think, it's a time where the whole, structures of our lives it seems like, they're kind of thrown up in the air. And how are they going to land? No idea.
Yeah. Hi, Paige. You have anything you want to add on?
I mean, I totally agree that this situation is making us like rethink, lots of things. One thing being working from home. I mean, there have been a lot of studies that have shown that working from home at least a couple days a week actually makes people more productive. I think, and it also has the added benefit of, fighting climate change too, because if you work from home 2 out of 5 days of the week, that's 2/5 of all the carbon emissions from commutes reduced. So
yeah,
it's certainly a great idea. And I think it's also making us rethink our relationship to work and automation, because certainly like robots being able to do a lot of the things right now would be really great, because actually it would put a lot of people's lives out of harm's way. If we didn't have to have people delivering food, if we didn't have to have people delivering the mail, if we were able to administer tests more robotically without having as much human interaction, way more people would be safe. The issue is that we haven't figured out the means of redistributing the money from those systems to the people that need it. So we could replace a lot of jobs with robots, and we would be healthier for it, but we wouldn't be economically good, because people wouldn't have incomes.
Yeah. It's time to think what jobs are. I'm seeing these micro businesses popping up on my neighborhood mutual aid Slack. There's a woman a couple streets away baking, loaves of sourdough bread, and she's selling out to her neighbors. Somebody else just starting to deliver kombucha. And I think, people are unemployed, but, maybe moving forward, selling things for your immediate neighbors is not such a bad thing if it's a more sustainable lifestyle. I love what you brought up before, Paige, about the environment and how clean things are. I hear bird song out my window. It's beautiful, right? And all we did was stop getting into cars for 2 months around the world. And the earth is thanking us for it. So what does that mean? Does that mean every year we stop things for 2 months globally? Maybe it is. Or maybe it's, we think, do we need to travel by air so much to all these places? Because it just spreads pandemics and, at the expense of our more local economies. Maybe if we weren't jetting off from New York to London to Milan all the time, maybe, some of the other cities will have a chance to build up their economies that's reliant on who lives there, your neighbors, instead of this massive multinational global chain that's so fragile. It's like closed down and boom, how many businesses are gone because we've closed for 2 months? That's it? That's all it took to shake up our economy and have half the country not working? It's like, what's wrong? That's not sustainable. This is so fragile. How are we going to fix this?
So speaking of pandemic and speaking of this COVID 19. We already know we have one casualty here, which is Linda's mom passed away because COVID-19. So I wanted everybody to talk about maybe a little bit about your experience, like before this whole thing and now, and then are you like in a really bad situation? Um, you know, could we just talk about a little bit if you feel like? So should we start with Lilian?
When you say before, you mean
Before the
before?
pandemic, yeah, like compared to before and now, like what is like the major issues here, or do you have any tips for quarantine? I guess quarantine is probably almost over, so
Well, I guess for me, the best way to describe it is I feel like the whole world has sort of turned upside down. It's difficult for me in a way because I feel very fortunate in a lot of ways, because what the people in my family, what we tend to do for a living is usually something that you can do from home, so no one has really suffered financially. um, I feel like the biggest way that we've suffered, or for me, is psychologically. Just knowing that so many, just knowing how bad it is all over the world, and knowing that people like Linda have lost a family member. I also have a friend who passed away who was only like maybe 40, and she had two young kids. One kid the same age as mine, and so it's. But on the other hand, for our family, in some ways, it's been a very educational process in that my husband used to fly around the world constantly for work, and I don't think he ever knew how tired he was until he couldn't do it anymore. And now, he's really decompressing. I mean, he literally has been taking naps every day, which he never ever did. And so in some ways, everything is sort of turned upside down. And we bake a lot of bread, and it is a bit
can I interrupt for just 1 second? I'm so sorry, dear Kevin. Neil is here. He's late. Can we let Neil come in for a little while? So, Kevin, you stay in the studio, okay? Don't leave.
Yeah.
So yeah,
How do I do this?
I'm gonna have him. I don't know.
I can go out for a little bit.
No.
When I'm done.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
Does it work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My camera's still on.
I don't know what he's supposed to do, but I just
there's no
have no.
Nieves
Okay,
video
I'm
button.
inviting Neil in. All right? I'm so sorry, dear. Okay. Hi, Neil. You're in.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
Lilian's talking. Sorry, Lilian is just talking.
I guess that's pretty much it. I've enjoyed having people together actually a little bit more. I've enjoyed less traffic in New York City, cleaner air, things like that. But at the same time, there's this very, very heavy psychological, sometimes unbearable psychological weight, even though nothing has actually happened to you or the people closest to you. So it's a very, I don't know. I think like everybody else, you start to really feel a little bit ground down sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's obviously it's not good for anybody. And I also in some ways appreciate that. I think a lot of people have woken up to the inequities in our country, the weak spots of our country. I think it's been a big wake up call. Why have other countries that we've never thought of as being particularly special? Why are they having such a better response to this than us? Why is our response so terrible? Because as much as I love Cuomo, if this gets me in trouble, then it gets me in trouble. As much as I love the way he's speaking up to Trump and, McConnell, I don't know that his record in New York is so spectacular if you really just look at it. You know, it's great that you've got these fabulous talks every morning, but you know, look at what's happening in New York, and look at how, you know, he took money out of the state budget. He complained about how we weren't getting federal money for the state, but once we got something like $700 million, he cut it from the state budget. So he took that federal money and cut the exact same amount from the state budget. So we're still at the same place where we were. So, you know, what did we gain? It's complicated. I don't think he's a bad guy, but I think it's, you know, it's very, some people think that he is, but you know, it's very complicated. But these are all things I think we have to start paying attention to.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So, all right. So this is a little bit messy right now. In terms of who gets to talk.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Neil, just join
I'll
us.
go out for a little bit because I've been in for a while. So why don't you let
Kevin in?
Kevin come back in?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, dear. Thank you. So Neil, we have been talking about like who. How we became Yang Gan. Now we talk about issues about Yan. Now we're talking about experience of in this pandemic. How each one have any stories to tell or any hardships to bitch about, you know. So, but here, first of all, I wanted to introduce. This is Neil, and then next to me is Linda. Next to Linda is Brian. Underneath the picture of Brian is Paige, and then on the right hand side of you, which is on your left side or whatever. So on the screen underneath me is Kevin. Do you know all of us?
Who you talking to me? You're asking me, or you're asking?
I'm talking. I'm talking to Neil.
I know Paige.
Okay.
Hi, Paige. How are you? We actually were collecting signatures one day for Jonathan Herzog. And so we were together at that time. First of all, I want to excuse myself for being a little late. I was with family. We were, as you see, I'm in my car. I was trying to rush. We were buying food or whatever and trying to rush and parked and everything, and then joined as soon as I could. So where do you want me to start? Like how I joined the Yang Gang? Or?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit, short version of how you became a Yang Gang and how you met me. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, of course I remember how I met you. So a little bit about me. I am I've always been a Republican. I grew up Republican, my family's Republican, and it was last year, 2019. I think I was, I did not vote for Trump in 2016 because I thought, there was he was against immigrants, and Obama had passed DACA and everything. And so anyway, just to make a long story short, I voted for Hillary because I knew that she would continue what Obama started, and that would benefit my family directly. But this time around, I was looking for an alternative. And when I saw, the first debate, I saw Andrew Yang speak. And as soon as he said, I'm not a politician, I'm an entrepreneur problem solver, and then he continued talking about UPI and the benefits, I saw I said, this is the guy I need. This is the guy that we need in the White House. So that's how I became Yang Gang right away. Just that first debate really sold me on his policies. And I started following him, and I started looking up YouTube videos and everything. And I've been, Yang Gang ever since. So how did I meet Ching? What happened was so on Facebook, I'm a part of a lot of different Yang Gang communities, and there was everybody knew that Andrew Yang was going to be on The View, and to make his big announcement. And somebody posted on one of the groups hey, if you want to go to the View, here's tickets. Get your tickets, And so I went ahead and I applied for tickets, and I just got 2 tickets, and I figured, it'll be me, and maybe I'll take my wife if she wants to come, and anyway, so I called. I was on reserve. Finally, I got the email that said that I was approved for the tickets to go to the View, and I went to my wife and I was like, "Hey, Jen, do you wanna come with me to go see Andrew Yang?" Now I'm sold out. I'm all Yang Gang. My wife is not really Yang Gang. She's not really into politics. And she said, "Why do I want to go to the View?" She told me, "I don't even like the View. I like the Real." That was her response. And so I said, "Listen, if you're not coming, I got an extra ticket. I'll get one of my Yang Gang friends, and I'll just take one of them." And she said, "Fine, go with a Yang Gang." So I there was somebody in one of the groups that I had promised her, "Hey, if my wife doesn't want to go, you'll go with me or whatever." And I gave her the ticket, and she was there. She had fun. I was more than happy to give away the ticket to somebody who's in Yang Gang. But when I was there, waiting in line, Ching came out, and she had her camera, and she's interviewing everybody, and that
Bad connection.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost him.
I don't know. Bad connection.
Okay, hold on.
We had a moment of bad connection.
Sorry, what's the last thing you heard?
Oh, you said Ching came to interview people.
Yes, so Ching came to interview people, and that was at the View. That's where Andrew Yang, he signed my hat. Yeah. So if you see right here, cool. I have it. It says I marked it. I said The View 3/05/2020. Right. Just to make sure. Now when Yang signed my hat, he signed it very lightly, so I actually took a marker and I darkened it up so people could actually see it. But it's been a great journey. I'm so happy that I've been able to connect with so many Yang Gang, and it's been a great thrill, great ride, Yeah. And I hope we're just focused on 2024 right now, but we know that we need UBI today, not in 4 years. So that's really the battle right now. That's why we're trying to do our best to help people like Jonathan Herzog get elected, help people like Blair Walsingham, people all over all over the nation who are running now on UBI and Yang's policies. We just need to help them get elected and do our best to support every one of them.
Right. Thank you. So how's we were talking about last subject is the hardship or the any personal experience about this COVID. Paige or Kevin, would you like to share some of your experience?
Which way you want to go? We want to go clock.
We'll go with Paige. Would you like to share a little bit about?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Paige is talking now. Yeah.
Yeah. So for a while there, it looked like I was going to lose my job, and I didn't. So that's fantastic. We did, however, have to lay off. I work at a design company. There were originally 4 people, and now with COVID, there are 2 people, including me and my boss. So the stimulus did not come fast enough for our firm, unfortunately. And if there's not economic recovery or more stimulus in the future, we will not have any work to do. I'm a packaging designer, so in order for there to be packaging design, there needs to be products being launched, and a lot of product launches have been canceled or delayed severely because of COVID and because of the economic situation. So, thankfully, I still have support from my parents. I still have, I have some savings, and I've been able to be financially stable for the time being. Mentally, emotionally, it's been rather stressful and anxious, but you know, I'm doing okay.
Thank you. Kevin, you want to say something?
Wow.
Can you
So,
get
can
can
you
you
hear
get closer to the screen? Just yeah,
the
just too
camera?
far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me try to better.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So COVID-19. Been stuck home. I haven't gone out much. Uh, well, original plan was actually wanted to go to China. Um, right after Yang canceled his campaign, but all plans are now canceled until indefinitely.
Mm.
Indefinitely, don't know when.
Yeah.
Um, but I think the toughest thing for me was when I heard one of my childhood friend who caught coronavirus. I didn't think it would hit so close to home. Um, because for me, I know in the beginning of the virus, I was not taking it seriously like a lot of people. Um, I had a friend come to me and we talked in the beginning before it came to the U.S. But I took it as a joke, and I thought she was a little over exaggerating with her response. Um, but yeah, after it hit us, I was like, I think us Americans, we take a lot of stuff for granted. We take our civil liberty for granted. We take our elections for granted. Um, we take just having like a family, like our family. I know that sometimes we spend too many hours working. And you know what? Sometimes we can blame the system for that. It's created a very perverse incentive for basically wage slavery. Um, and I think with the coronavirus and the shutdown of businesses and the unemployment rate, but you see the stock market still going up, right? And you start questioning, why is that happening? How is that possible with like 14, 15% unemployment rate? How's it NASDAQ about to be in green territory again? But a lot of it is stimulus from the federal government, not from the federal government, but by the Fed, um, the printing machine. Yeah, and they're utilizing it to bail out, their friends in the corporate sector, uh, even poor performing companies, companies that we wouldn't normally, as citizens, would like to get bailed out. Like we probably wouldn't want the airlines to be bailed out. They do hire a lot of people, but they charge us a lot of money. They should be better with their savings. Like, when we get told that we need to be better with our savings, I think it needs to be a lesson for big companies that they need to save their money instead of buying back shares, trying to manipulate Wall Street, outsourcing their work. Because when you care about your employees, you have company like there's a guy who supports Yang. I forgot his name again. He has a credit card processing company, and like coronavirus has also taken a big hit on their business. But I also heard that like 75% or like 95% of the employees were willing to cut the salaries, in half so that they could keep the company liquidable. But that's my opinion. I think
Yeah.
we as a country have to stay united, and fight for something like UBI because it's possible. We've printed more money than we've ever printed. We haven't. Well, I've seen stuff get more expensive in my neighborhood, but I think a lot of it is because of supply chain issues. Like meat is. I've realized like meat, the prices of like pork is going up. the last couple of days. But I also hear that a lot of pork processing plants are closing because of people catching coronavirus. And you see, and those workers, they probably don't get the hazard pay. They don't get that extra benefit. They probably don't even get paid sick leave, right? UBI solves a lot of issues. It's direct. No hoop to jump through. Like, I haven't even gotten a stimulus check because in 2018 I was a student. I didn't file taxes. I didn't really work. So I never thought about filing. My fault. But like, I think going back to what Linda was talking about earlier is people should really consider, like, look at democracy and reevaluate what it means to have a democracy. Because I think we as Americans are really taking it for granted that we have the right to vote when a lot of places are fighting for the right to vote.
Brian, you have any thoughts, please?
Yeah, it actually hasn't been too bad for me. I think I've just kind of gotten used to the whole thing. It's been difficult not seeing my friends, and probably the most difficult thing is my wife's an emergency room nurse, so knowing that she's constantly at risk kind of weighs on you a bit. But my job has actually gotten busier because I work for a technology company, and what we've been doing is helping our customers get set up to work remote, and people making investments in software so they can function in a remote environment better. So we've actually been really busy. And yeah, I've been keeping busy with the Yang Gang and gardening projects and things. So I think the big thing is too is having like hobbies and stuff to do, and then just make sure you're keeping in touch with your friends. I've been trying to call my friends more often, and we've been playing video games, and my wife has started playing video games, so we have more things to do together.
Yeah, I saw your your Facebook. Seems like you guys are doing a lot of fun things. You do biking outdoors, and you do a lot of sports, and you're in the woods, and so that's great. That's great. Okay.
Good talking to everybody, and we'll see you again soon.
Same here, Brian.
Remember, NY votes matter.
NY votes matter.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
For
All
sure.
Yeah. Okay. So
like
tell
that.
me. Sorry, Neil. I interrupted you. Sorry.
It's okay. Linda, I totally understand what you're saying, and I'm sorry to hear about your mom. That's very painful. I don't even want to imagine what you must be going through. But
Thank you.
yeah, what I wanted to say was, I'm a photographer, graphic designer for a financial institution, so I totally understand what you're saying. I'm working 2 weeks at home and working 1 week at the office. That's how we're rotating, and it's just becoming easier to do it that way because we're getting used to our workflow, and once it's all said and done, how much time do we really need to spend at the office, because we're really doing everything digitally anyway, right? One thing I wanted to say was UBI is something that's important, and it's something that we really need. What I have found is sometimes people, especially in the conservative side, when I talk to friends of mine, they tell me, "Oh, you know what? People don't need $1,000. All they're gonna do is buy Jordans and spend the money, spend $1,000 on Jordans and iPhones." It's easy to just have that mentality of people are just gonna waste their money. But the truth of the matter is, my response to that is, well, if you think that other people are just going to spend it on iPhones and Jordans, then why don't you take your $1,000 and invest in iPhone and Jordan stock? That it makes sense, right? You know, if that's where people are going to spend the money, it makes sense to buy stock in those industries, because it's only going to benefit you. So there's no downside to giving people money. And it's funny because while you were talking, I happened to look next to me and I found, I don't know if you can see it.
Yang bug.
You know, actually, this is, I don't know where, I know where this came from. I didn't get it from anybody in particular. I was parked in the city, and somebody actually saw all my Yang stickers, Yang campaign stickers in the back of my car, and they left this on my windshield. You know, so that was a pretty cool gift, you know. But yeah, that's all I wanted to share. It's you know, it's a very difficult time that we're living in. I don't know if we're gonna go back to being what it used to be. But that's our prayer, right? We pray and hope that we can get back to where we were before the crisis happened.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we'll ever get back to where we were, but I'm hoping that if we're conscious and intentional about the moves we make, come out on the end, you know, other end somewhere better.
Yes.
Like, there's getting back to normal, but if it was exactly what it was before, you know, normal wasn't great. There were a lot of people not doing well. A lot of, you know, things that could be better. And this whole coronavirus has just, you know, pulled the blanket on how shaky. It's a house of cards. You know, it's like what things, you know, people stay home for 2 weeks and businesses just start closing. I mean, how many millions and millions of people already, right? This is like, we need a stronger foundation, right?
Yep.
On the floor would be a good place to start. Yeah, I love that you had your Yang buck, because before you came, I was talking about so much Yang gear, right?
Yeah.
And I know, but there's something about, you know, I know we've got the Twitter game and all that, right? And there are people who are much better at that than me to help amplify the message. But, you know, the eyes are on New York. Will we win the election or not? Even if we don't, maybe, you know, let's try to stir something up. I want to put stickers with the names of all the down ballot districts, like Herzog, you know, like JFK, like Shavana Newsom, like Luciano, like Paperboy Prince of the Suburbs, you know, all of them. And maybe even some of the ones from around the country, because it's so powerful to see that it is a national movement. It's like, and I think if it's stuck to something that's got Yang on it, people are going to pick it up, right? And you know, we've got plenty of it, and just like get some stickers or something out there to not, the Yang will get their attention, but we could talk about who else is running, who's pushing for this, who's on the good list, naughty list. I don't know, just get it out there and, you know, do the word. And in some way, you know, even with quarantine, I think we can find a way to activate people to think.
I like what Linda is talking about with the damn ballot candidates and like Jonathan Herzog and Shavana Newsom.
Absolutely.
I have argued with a bunch of my high school friends about who I want to vote for in the coming election, and I don't think my, you know, official choice is Biden right now. It's still Yang, and I think, but like I was saying earlier, Yang is the one who's continuing to speak about the problems. He understands it. Like, he's very vocal about it. And it's important to have people down the ballot for if Yang or another candidate, someone like Yang, runs for presidency, runs for office. Because, you know, the president of the United States, he's not the kingmaker. He's not Xi Jinping. He doesn't wield all the power. He doesn't have all the say. It comes down to also people in office, in Congress, and in the House. And we have people supporting, you know, our vision of a human first, human-centered capitalism, or whatever we want to call it. We'll need candidates who are willing to fight for it, who are willing to, you know, actually move the lines.
Yeah. So does anyone, in my email to you, I said we welcome music numbers. Anybody have something to play for us?
Yeah. Can I just say one thing real quick
Okay.
thing
Okay.
before we move to that? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. This morning I was looking through my Twitter feed, and I saw Andrew Yang had posted maybe like a day or two ago about a lawyer that the vote. I'm sorry. What I don't know if you guys spoke on this because I came late, but the Board of Elections is now appealing the decision. Did you guys talk about that
Oh,
at all?
yes.
Oh, you did. Okay, so you guys know about the Google form that you could fill out. What's that? I'm sorry.
Oh, there's a
Votes matter.
hashtag
Yes.
trended on social media to
Okay.
talk that. Brian gave it to us before, so I just put it.
Oh, cool. Well, this morning I filled out a form that goes to the lawyer that's actually going to present it to the appeals court. Do you guys know about that? Did you guys hear about that or no?
I do believe it's in the Northeast Regional Slack somewhere.
I may have filled it out already.
Yeah, well, if you don't know it, Andrew Yang posted it maybe like 2 days ago. If not, you can go to my Twitter and posted it. I went into New York NYC Yang Gang Facebook and I put it on there. So it's important, because we could voice our opinions on why it's important for us to be able to vote. You see, me as a Republican, something I said was, I switched my vote. I switched my party to be able to vote in the Democratic primary this year. And for them to take that away from me it's not fair. I invested money, I invested my time, and I took my time to change my party for this.
Yeah.
And for me not to be able to vote for Andrew Yang in the primary, for me it'll be devastating. Because then what did I do all that for? Then it's in vain. You know what I'm saying? So it's and by the way, yeah, you're right, Yoon. There's nothing wrong with Jordans, and I'm reading his comment. I'm sorry. He said there's nothing wrong with Jordans and iPhones, and yeah, I think I do look like Negan from The Walking Dead.
Well, we got Glenn from The Walking Dead here.
We got The Walking Dead talk. Yeah, but anyway, that's all I wanted to share. If you don't know about that, if you want to voice your opinion on why it's important for you to vote in New York, especially, I'm in Queens. I'm in Flushing. Right now, I'm on College Point and 28th Avenue. If you know where I'm at, that's where I'm at. I'm right by the police academy in DMV. That's where I live. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. If you need more information, on that, if you don't know, contact me. I'm at Nell Nieves. You can see my name there, at Nell Nieves. On Twitter, you can contact me directly. I'll send you the link, or just go to my Twitter. I shared it, so you'll be able to find it.
So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your time. And I'm really, every time I see Young Gan, I'm so much happier. I wait for this day a whole week. I wait for seeing you guys. Anybody else wanted to say something? Otherwise, we're ending this session. And are we all good?
Well, Ching, I wanted to thank you for this. I know I've been wanting to join a few weeks already, and just haven't had the time, and I came late, but thank you for allowing me in. I want to say yesterday, I think it was, yesterday actually, I was able to join a Humanity Forward Zoom session, and it was really cool because as a surprise guest, Zach Grumman came in to the room where we were at and said hi to everybody, and we got to chat with him. And they say that they're going to be doing that pretty soon. They're going to be expanding it so that more people can join. And I think that's going to be really cool for Yang Gang to be able to, go into those things just to communicate just how we're doing right here.
Yeah.
And it'll be cool too, because they said that, hey, there's surprise guests, and sometimes Andrew may even enter one of those rooms and say hi to people as a surprise. So it'll give everybody a nice time to be able to interact with Andrew himself. You know.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I just want to add something. Brian didn't say that. Rochester Youngan, Brian, who left, he actually hosts Youngan meetings, Zoom meetings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he does it bi-weekly on Sunday, 7:30 p.m.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So the next time is not this Sunday, is next Sunday. Yeah, so 17th, 31st and stuff like that. So I saw him on one of the email or something. That's how I get to know him. Yeah, I didn't meet Brian before. All right, great. Anybody else have any thoughts before we end? We're all good?
No, I just want to thank you for doing this and giving us a forum, because I think, with everything that's going on, our minds are all full of, we're already full of ideas that Andrew Yang kind of, planted seeds. And now so many of the things that we had discussed and thought about as a what if are happening around us. So thank you for letting us keep this together. I know we're going to activate in some way. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Paige.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you, Neil. So
No, thank you.
Neil, I'll see you guys soon in real person.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
hope so.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
The quarantine is over.
Thank you for watching. Thank you, Yunjie, to be with us. Thank you, Nick, to be with us. Thank you, Tyler, to be with us. Thank you, all the people who made the comments and stick with us. Yeah. And see you again soon.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Okay.
Definitely.
Bye.
Can't wait for
Bye.
the
Bye. Bye. Bye, Kevin.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.